his fingers together for a boatload of flavor.
It's the Zaxby's flavor you love. Now on shrimp.
Who's got the sauce?
Today on Fox News at 4, the man accused of capital murder in connection to the Chalk family in court today. We've got the latest from that hearing, and that's first. And then 2 attacks hundreds of miles apart, shaking 2 community spaces in the U.S. What we know about the suspects coming up.
And we are tracking the potential of severe weather coming back into the forecast area late this weekend. We'll break down the timing with your Futurecast coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
Hello there and welcome in. It is Friday. We finally made it to the weekend. I'm Shelby Myers. Lenise Lagon is off. Welcome to Fox 10 News at 4. And breaking first today, the man accused of killing a Theodore mother and her 2 children will not be getting out of jail anytime soon. A judge giving Hector Argueta-Guerra no bond. Argueta-Guerra appearing before a judge today for the first time on capital murder charges in the deaths of Aurelia Chalk, her 17-year-old daughter Eureka, and 2-year-old son Anthony. Investigators found the family's bodies Wednesday in a wooded area off of Downing Road east of Summerdale, ending a search that started January 31st. Court documents say they were killed by sharp force trauma with an edged weapon. And while he didn't go into detail about exactly their manner of death or the alleged murder weapon, Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood says the preliminary results of the family's autopsies are, quote, horrific. Argueta-Guerra also faces 3 counts of abuse of a corpse and obstruction of justice. Blackwood says they will seek the death penalty. Argueta-Guerra's next court appearance, a preliminary hearing, is set for April 6th. Hear what else DA Blackwood had to say about today's bond hearing coming up on Fox 10 News at 5. Well, in the latest briefing from the Pentagon, U.S. military officials addressing the latest casualties of Operation Epic Fury. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dan Kane, acknowledging the 4 U.S. airmen killed in Iraq after their refueling aircraft crashed during routine support operations. Today, Kane and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also providing an update on progress and planned strikes.
Today will be our heaviest day of kinetic fires across the operating area. CENTCOM continues to attack ballistic missile and drone capabilities so that they are no longer a threat to U.S. forces, our bases, or our partners.
Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured.
Well, this update coming after Iran's new supreme leader releasing his first message on Iranian state media. He threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping lane, though right now some ships are still passing through amid the fighting. Meanwhile, a pair of attacks hundreds of miles apart are rattling communities, shaking Americans' sense of security. A deadly shooting in Virginia is being investigated as terrorism. Meanwhile, an explosive-filled vehicle rammed into a synagogue in Michigan in what is now being described by the FBI as a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Lee Waldman brings us the latest on both of these attacks.
As snow falls on Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan, officials are sending a clear message.
This is not a political moment. This is not a political debate. This is targeting babies who are Jewish. That's anti-Semitism at its absolute worst.
The Department of Homeland Security identified the suspect as 41-year-old Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, who was born in Lebanon and became a U.S. citizen in 2016. Officials say he drove his vehicle filled with explosives into the synagogue with a rifle. Ghazali died at the scene. At the time, more than 100 children aged 5 and younger were attending school at the synagogue, according to Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
We must lower the rhetoric in this state and in this country, especially at this moment where we've seen such a rise in anti-Semitism and more attacks on the Jewish community.
At least 30 law enforcement officers were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation, authorities said, and a security guard who helped stop the attack was hit by the suspect's vehicle and is expected to be okay. Meanwhile, in Virginia, authorities say 2 Old Dominion University students were hurt and 1 person was killed when a former Virginia National Guardsman and convicted ISIS supporter began shooting on campus.
The brave
ROTC members in that room subdued him. And if not for them, I'm not sure, what else he may have done.
The gunman, who was identified by the FBI as 36-year-old Mohammed Baylor Jallo, was killed at the scene. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
All right, it is spring break time. We are taking a live look outside, and despite a little cold snap, this looks like an absolutely pristine view of Pensacola Beach. Oh my gosh, so beautiful today. We want to check on that forecast with our chief meteorologist, Jason Smith. And, we've had a lot of ups and downs with the forecast, and it seems like we're going to go through another one over the weekend or more into next week even.
Right. March is this way.
Yeah.
It can warm up, then we have storms, and it can get really cold. And we kind of got lulled into thinking, we're going to have an early spring. But, we saw that, and the whole thing's going to repeat itself here coming soon.
Okay, so something to look out for. You guys are tracking as far as we head into the next week. And also, don't put those jackets up just yet.
I know, so much to keep an eye on, Shelby. So in our severe weather outlook map for Sunday night and early Monday morning, we have a level 2 slight risk for severe weather here. And we do expect a very potent line of storms to move into the area after midnight and into the early morning hours of Monday. That's going to be at the very end of the weekend and at the beginning of the week next week. Here's our future cast. So we have a beautiful day today. There's no doubt about it. Tomorrow will be really similar. I expect a wonderful day on our Saturday. As we get into Saturday afternoon, again, it looks pretty good. We don't see any major problems. Sunday, some increasing clouds and maybe a few isolated showers Sunday afternoon. But the main area of storms will move into the region on Sunday night, and it should be slicing through our area in the early morning hours of Monday. The graph model not doing a lot with it yet, but the dynamics are in play for some severe weather in our area, a lot like what we saw the other night. So yeah, we're going to get round 2 coming through, and it should happen in the early morning hours of Monday. There will be cold air behind that as well for next week. This evening, if you do have evening plans, I don't see any rain. It's going to be clear, and you'll need jackets because the numbers will be tumbling. We should be in the mid-50s for the late evening this evening, and temperatures will be in the 40s in the morning tomorrow. We see temperatures recovering a little over the weekend, but some very cold air moves in next week. That's another layer to this, possible freezing temperatures early next week. We'll break that down in your complete forecast coming up. Shelby?
All right, Jason, we will see you then. Well, new now at 4, the state's general fund budget and education trust fund are making significant progress in the legislature. Lawmakers have to pass both budgets each session. They're only yearly requirements. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro has more from Montgomery on what lawmakers are focused on this year when it comes to the general fund.
The state's general fund covers everything besides education for how the state funds are spent. This year's general fund is more than $3.7 billion. It includes a 2% pay raise for state employees and $10 million for the new state house. The Alabama Department of Human Resources is set to get $148 million. However, it says DHR would only get those funds in the first quarter if the state's SNAP error rate is at or below 6% by the end of the 2026 fiscal year. That's the percentage of overpayments and underpayments of SNAP benefits, or if they have a plan to cover potential penalties. That 6% threshold matches the error rate allowed under the federal government's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. If states go over that, they'll have to pay a greater share of SNAP costs, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars, starting in the 2028 fiscal year. In 2024, the state's error rate was over 8%.
All of these are gauged upon what the federal guidelines are. We're not asking for anything new. We're not lowering any rates or making it more difficult. We're simply indicating that we're serious in moving forward and getting this.
The budgets function like other bills in the way that the general fund will now go to the House for a vote, and the Education Trust Fund, which has already passed in the House, will now move on to the Senate. Jessica Umbro, Fox 10 News.
All right, Jessica, thank you. The General Fund and Education Trust Fund are supplemented by billions in yearly federal funding.
All right, on the roadways, we do have some delays. Let's get right to it with our traffic tracker. We are seeing slowdowns on Interstate 10, and the problems are both eastbound and westbound. So either way, it's slowing down. If you're trying to get to Baldwin County, already starting to see a backup here, and that's going to be past Broad Street around Virginia Street and continues into the tunnel. Westbound looks pretty sketchy today. We are seeing slowdowns here from really the Daphne Spanish Fort area all the way across the Bayway. So the Bayway moving slow westbound. We also have some slowdowns southbound trying to get onto I-10 here on US 31 and there around the interchange in Spanish Fort and Daphne. Westbound, a little slow on I-10, and it really slows down on the Mississippi side. So we have some things that we'll have to keep watching. I'll have another update in about 30 minutes with traffic as we get closer to the 5 o'clock rush hour.
All right, Jason, another important update. Traffic is a little bit of a mess out there. It is Friday after all. Well, a Mobile man has helped bring new life to a forgotten park while giving kids the chance to learn the game of baseball. Miller Park opened in the late 90s. For more than a decade, it sat empty and forgotten until William Ray stepped in and worked with the city of Mobile to give the park a second chance. Ray started the Miller Park Astros youth baseball team and won the 6U championship last year. Calls started pouring in from parents after last season, and now a team of about a dozen kids has grown to almost 200.
I just think a lot of parents seeing our work ethic with these kids, and we build confidence and leadership in our boys. It's more than sports with us. We want all our players to leave here and become leaders, and we develop them in the game. We let them have fun. At the end of the day, the win is always going to come, but we want them to have fun.
Well, coming up on Fox News at 5, you're going to hear more from Ray about why he wanted to revive the park. You'll also hear from some of the players about what they're most excited for. Well, it's a big day in Fairhope as the annual Baldwin County Special Olympics celebration took place this morning, and it was full of competition, celebration, and of course, inspiration. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more from WC Majors Field.
All of Baldwin County's best were represented here Friday as they celebrated the 2026 Baldwin County Special Olympics. It started with a parade of athletes and the torch run, and it helped to highlight these athletes and to celebrate their accomplishments.
Well, we probably have about 425 athletes. We have scheduled them for about 1,000 events. It is 300 volunteers. So this is just a big day for students with disabilities in Baldwin County because it is their day.
And it's a day that everybody, including the athletes, looks forward to.
Oh, I'm really excited about this special event. Oh, it was really exciting, and everyone at school were cheering for me like I told you.
It's probably right up there with the state championship or even better than that because these parents, they love this day. The community loves to give, and it's part of their day too. So this is just all about these students and all their success that they have.
And on a day like today, smiles could be seen all around.
All the efforts and the hard work and all the hours, it's all worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And to see the parents, everybody's happy, everybody's excited. It's a beautiful day. You just can't ask for more in Baldwin County.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
She summed it up perfectly. Well, still ahead from us here on Fox News at 4, the hustle culture of today may have you juggling multiple tasks at once. But is it actually possible? We're taking a look at a new study next. And also a 2,000-year-old coin is used as bus fare, and a stone in a Barnes foundation is revealed to have ancient warrior roots. That's coming up in today's Take a Look at This. But first, let's go out to Orange Beach now. We took a look at Pensacola. Still just as beautiful here in Orange Beach, maybe even a little bit more packed from this view. Again, many schools are on spring break, soaking up the sun and enjoying the beach. It looks like yellow flags are out there, so be cautious. We'll have another check on the forecast and more after this.
Highlighting an important story with more details and more angles.
In depth with Sarah Wall, mornings at 9 on the Fox.
A new study sheds light on how well the brain can actually multitask. The study reveals that the brain cannot truly do two things at once, even after tons of practice. Instead, researchers found the brain quickly switches between tasks, which can ultimately slow performance and increase mistakes. Researchers obtained these results by having participants perform 2 tasks at the same time. The test was repeated for up to 12 days to see if there was improvement in multitasking. Scientists say the research can help understand and improve safety at jobs that require handling several tasks at once. I just have one question for those that did this study. Did you get any mothers in there? Because I don't know. I think they can multitask, but I don't know. All right, from navigating breakups to dealing with rejection, more people are turning to AI to help them with tough talks. Researchers call it social offloading and warn those instant replies could have long-term effects. Researchers that study human and AI interaction at MIT's Media Lab say they're seeing more people turn to AI for answers, but this habit could be stunting emotional growth, especially among younger users, says Dr. Michael Robb, who's head of the nonprofit Common Sense Media.
Young people are supposed to be learning the kind of uncomfortable, nuanced skills of human relationships. And that's things like, how to navigate a disagreement. It's how to read other people's perspectives, things like managing rejection.
Oftentimes, he says AI is designed to be agreeable and may not always be accurate. You've heard it before. It may just tell you what you want to hear, kind of thing. And while AI can be helpful, experts recommend parents and educators just communicate with their teens about responsible use.
All right, this is our Eastern Shore Toyota network camera, and we are looking at a beautiful day. I mean, it's fine out there right now. Enjoy it because active weather comes in later this weekend, and it is a storm tracker alert situation for Sunday night and Monday morning here because we've got a slight risk for some severe storms moving into our area with an enhanced risk to our north and west. Level 2 slight risk. Yeah, it's coming in late Sunday night, early Monday morning, so we'll get to enjoy most of the weekend before these storms get here. You can see on the Futurecast tomorrow, looks like an outstanding day. Today was really a great day. Tomorrow is just going to be a little bit warmer than today, and we'll have sunshine around on your Saturday. So I'm not expecting any problems during the day on Saturday. Sunday, we will see the possibility of an increase in cloud cover and perhaps a couple of spotty showers Sunday afternoon. Rain chance only about 20% on Sunday. Here comes that line of storms, and there could be some severe weather within that band. It will be basically right on top of us after midnight and into the early morning hours on Monday. And behind this, we've got some super cold air. Yeah, we could see storms through about mid-morning Monday, and then a shot of possible freezing temperatures moves in over the northern half of the forecast area for the first 2 mornings of next week. So here's what we're seeing in our situation for tonight in our temperatures. It's just going to be chilly tonight, and early Saturday morning we'll wake up to temperatures in the low 40s in the inland spots. It does not look frosty, but it will be chilly. 45 in Mobile, 49 in Pensacola. All right, we've got that storm tracker alert for Sunday, Monday for the storms that come in Sunday night. And then Monday's high temperature at 54, and that may be optimistic. It looks like the colder air just slams in here on Monday, and by Monday night at 33, by Tuesday night, possibly around freezing. So the air will be a lot colder next week, and this could be a late season frost freeze event close to the coast. Kind of tricky. I know the azaleas are blooming, and we've had a lot of warm weather, but we got a taste of a cool snap, and now we get a taste of a cold snap early next week.
Okay, you heard it here. Cold snap once again. A pair of fascinating time-traveling discoveries, each that started as one thing and became another down through the ages. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at a 2,000-year-old coin experts say traveled through time, starting as an ancient civilization's currency and ending as bus fare. The coin was recently donated to a British museum by a man who says his grandfather, a transit employee, gave it to him in the 1950s after someone used the rare piece to pay for a bus ride. According to the Leeds Discovery Center, the coin's origins date back millennia to 1 BC, where they say it was produced by the Carthaginians, an ancient civilization on the Spanish coast. Realizing its age and significance, the man donated his grandfather's gift, which will now be studied and displayed at the museum, which houses currency from cultures around the world spanning thousands of years of history. Yet another historic relic that was hidden in plain sight is this seemingly innocuous stone found in an Eastern European backyard that archaeologists say was once a mold for ancient weaponry. According to a recently published study by Archaeological Views, the stone, a volcanic rock found used in an old barn wall in the Czech Republic, dates back to the Bronze Age, around 1350 BC, where experts say it was likely used to make molded weapons like spearheads. Using X-ray technology, researchers were able to trace the stone's origins at a microscopic level and even made 3D renderings showing what weapons it was used to craft might have looked like. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
When we come back, the Oscars are Sunday, and the video game world has the movies on their mind. We've got those details for you next.
Lexus of Mobile is proud to sponsor the Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance. The Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance.
Handling your case. Let all my experience become your good experience. My name is David G. Maloney, and I will still
Welcome back. Taylor Swift is now a billionaire times 2. According to Forbes, the showgirl is now worth an estimated $2 billion, and that includes nearly $800 million earned from royalties and touring. A music catalog worth around $600 million and more than $100 million in properties throughout the U.S. Swift is the first musician to reach the billionaire milestone through her musical talents versus outside projects. Pretty impressive. It's all about the Oscars this weekend. Even video gamers have movies on their minds. Rick Damagello reports.
Hey, movie buffs, ready to step into the spotlight and become the ultimate Hollywood boss?
Ever thought you should be in charge of decision-making at a Hollywood film studio? Among the numerous games available that let you try your hand at movie mogulhood is the Executive Movie Industry Tycoon. The studio simulator is available for PC via Steam.
Underneath the moon so bright, you and I, we dance tonight.
But what if you really want to do is direct? There is, or rather will be, Hollywood Director the Simulation. The game isn't playable yet, but its listing on Steam says it will let players create familiar filmmaking aspects in its gameplay. And if you've ever dreamed of running your own movie theater, there is Ultimate Theater Simulator. The first-person cinema sim puts players in charge of growing their movie house into a successful business. Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Next up, we're going to take a look at the stories we'll have for you on Fox 10 News at 5, and also this.
It gets used to impersonate someone for their unemployment benefits, their housing benefits, their food assistance benefits, things that they need to live.
A data breach can put your credit at risk before you even know your info was exposed. Next, the steps experts say to take right away to limit the damage. But first, Jason.
And if you want to see these stories and your forecast, we will be streaming Taking This Newscast Forward on our Fox 10 Golf stream. In the meantime, on Fox 10, enjoy the game. Be messy, change quickly, and being first is everything.